Okay, hello everybody. Welcome. Lots of new subscribers as well. Hello. Okay, so let's talk about the solution to the problem find minimum in rotated sorted array. The input given to you is a rotated sorted array, sorted in ascending order and rotated by a couple of steps. The amount of rotations isn't an information piece given to you, neither is it important to solving the question. The solving the question part is actually you have to find the minimum value inside of this array. Now, if it were like a very jokish solution would be just to return the minimum of a that could run in order of n time and we'd be done. But the solution is actually more involved because of this constraint. You have to design an algorithm that runs in order of log n time. Okay, so one algorithm that should immediately come to your mind is binary search. We're already given a sorted array and you have to find something, so binary search should ring a bell. Keeping that in the back of our mind, let's look at an abstract looking case and understand how we can build up to the solution. Now, why we abstract is because the exact numbers don't matter, but the increasing or the jumping of the sequence does. Sorry. So as you can see, this is like an abstract, very general case where you'll have an element starting from this point, they will increase, and suddenly you'll find the minimum point at which, you can suddenly go down and this will be your answer. If you want to consider more elements, they will again increase. Now there's one parameter here, w greater than or equals to 0, which we want to keep in mind, because what if w equals to 0? W equals to 0 is like the most trivial case where you have just a sorted array which has not been rotated. And how do you find the minimum of that sorted array? Sorted in ascending order, so the green point itself is the answer. So if w equals to 0 and you'll have the minimum point as the answer. Trivial. What if w is greater than 0 though? In that case, you will have this increasing sequence here, this break here, and this increasing sequence again. Now we are thinking, okay, maybe, this is not exactly trivial to solve, but how can we apply binary search to this? Binary search assumes sorted by nature. So clearly we can't apply binary search directly. We need to somehow modify it or add or remove from it that gets us this solution. Okay. This was the case for w equals to 0 where we had the answer right in our hands. But what if w was greater than 0 and we had this LMR case again? In case we have this LMR case, it could be either one of these or this. And at that point of time, we can't say for sure which part does it belong to, because if it belongs to this part, then great, we have the answer in our hand, which is the L. But this, we can't say anything about that. So we'll keep that on hold, we'll keep that at the back of our mind, and we'll come back to it later. Now let's take a look at two other cases. Now, I'll also point out the fact that, in binary search, we always have this L, R, and M pointers. L, R, and M values, which we use to reduce the search space, either decrease it here or decrease it here, depending upon whatever conditions there are. In this case, we can have a case like LM belonging to this top portion and R belonging to this bottom portion. In this case, what happens? Well, we can say for sure that the answer is not anywhere on the top, but is somewhere here at the bottom, which means that the L is too far away and we can bring L forward. We can bring L to M plus 1. We'll keep that in mind. And this is very clear. There is no other possible case of what it could be. It's always going to be L equals to M plus 1. What about the other case where L is the only one at the top, M is at the bottom along with R here? So we'll move R here. This is like the another case which we want to consider. In this case, again, R is over here, L is over here, M says that M is over here, but we can say for sure that answer is not anywhere on the top, but it's always on this bottom line in the green section here. So we want to, so in this L here, R here, we want to now decrease R to be M, so that our search space is reduced in this small green area. Both of these cases are quite trivial to understand, but now let's come back to this irritating little case over here. We know that answer or array of L is the answer for W equals to 0. For W equals to 0. But what if W is greater than 0 and you maybe land up at this point of time? If you are at this point of time, what will happen? You'll have L as this starting point here, R as this circle over here, and what would be the M? M would be somewhere in the middle. What this also means is that you can only search for the answer if L is here, if L is starting from this point and R is ending at this point. This restricts you to get an answer which is the starting point itself. This is an incorrect solution. And so if we consider this same logic to apply for W greater than 0 case, then we'll get a wrong answer. But there's a sneaky thing that happens. Assuming the correctness of our solution, assuming the correctness of both of these cases, will actually never have a case where W is greater than 0 and you end up in the first part. Let me say that again. Assuming the correctness of our solution, assuming that we can always find a solution that gets us to this green circle here, assuming that, considering both of these in place, both of these logic are correct and perfect by the way, assuming that and those, we can always say that we will never land at this part. Why is that? Let's consider one case where L is here and R is here, which is the first initial case. In this case, M could be anywhere in the middle. Now, in this wrong answer case, what if M decides to be in the middle over here, somewhere over here? Now, which one is this case B? This is L over here, M in the above section over here, and R below. This is the case that happens. In this case, what is happening? We're moving L to M plus 1. Basically saying that, you know what, we're ditching this starting point completely. We're just like telling it to go away. We don't care about this. If M was certain point here, then L will now become this point in the next iteration. Assuming the correctness of our problem, assuming the correctness of our solution, we can never get a case where L is here and R is here. Feel free to take more examples and use both of these below points over here. Now, let's also talk about the ending case when we'll finally get to the solution. And the case when we finally get to the solution is this one over here again. Now, in this case, W may or may not be equals to 0, but we're definitely in this bottom part. And in this bottom part, L is always less than M, M is always less than R. And if that is the case, then L is the answer. So pretty complicated to explain, but you can take a couple of examples and look at the correctness of it. Maybe the code will help you guide more. So let's actually code this up. We'll start L and R from 0 and length of A minus 1. And we'll run a while loop while L is less than R. At the end, we are always sure that the answer would be A of L. Okay, because it will always end up in a case like where L is here, M is here, R is here. Again, this is an abstraction. Don't worry about the indices exactly right now. We'll just keep M plus 1 and R equals to M in mind. Now, what are the cases again? If the array of L is should we consider L at all? L in this case is above R and L in this case is also above R. So comparing L to R does not make sense. Comparing M to R does, however. In this case, M is greater than R and in this case, M is less than R. So let's consider A of M less than A of R. We'll do some computation here, else we'll do some other computation. So the first case was L equals to M plus 1. A of M is greater than A of R, L equals to M plus 1, else R equals to M. Wait, is that it? This is too less. Okay, we'll actually try this out. Okay, M is not defined. Yeah, that's my bad. Okay, so we'll have M equals to L plus R by 2 and we can just submit this at this point and accept it. Okay, so let's talk about the space-time complexities. Time complexity is going to be order of log n. N is the number of elements in this list. because we are doing exactly a binary search, just a modified version of a binary search. The space complexity is going to be constant because the only three variables we are storing are L, M, and R. Nothing else, nothing more. So the space complexity is order of 1, time complexity is order of log n. And that wraps up our solution for the problem, find minimum in rotated sorted array. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, do a double thumbs down and subscribe for more. As always, thanks for watching.